Hey Kevin, what are you doing?
Well, I've had several requests for arc welding video. You know what arc welding is?
No.
No? Neither do a lot of other people. Come here, let me show you. So you see, this is just a real basic arc welder. You can get them at like the big box stores. Made by Lincoln. Really, really dependable little machine. This one is just AC welder. Not that it's plugged into AC, but that it only does AC welding. There's AC welding and DC welding. Two different things. Goes from 40 up to 225 amps, so plenty of power to do just about any kind of steel welding you want to do with it. Runs on 220. Like I say, really basic. You got a selector switch for your amperage. You got an on and off switch. That's it. This is what I learned on. You got a ground clamp, just like on all welders. You got a clamp to hold the electrodes, so you can do your welding.
What's an electrode, like a rod?
Well, I'll show you that up on the workbench. Now, where this one just does arc welding, or sometimes they call it stick welding. See, now this is my Miller TIG welder, but it also has an arc welding function in it. So you can do TIG or stick. Kind of handy sometimes.
Why? Why would you want to do stick if you have a TIG welder?
Well, because the TIG welder, you have to have the shielding gas when you're working. The arc welder, and I'll show you up on the bench, the rods, the electrodes, have flux on them. So you can use these outside. You can use the arc welders outside in the wind. There's so many different types of rods for them, electrodes for them, for steel, for aluminum. I think there's even cast iron for them. They come in several different diameters, so you can go to the higher voltages. The reason they put the arc welding function into the TIG welders is for the thicker metals, or the dirty jobs you want to do. You got a piece of rusty steel you got to put together. Arc really doesn't care. These are great farm machines. They're great quick fix-it machines. You can do all your thin metals. You can do all your exotics with your TIG. But you want to fix the picnic table. You want to fix the fence out back. That's what the arc welder's for. Now let me show you what the electrodes look like. So you see here, these are the electrodes, or the sticks that you do your arc welding with. It's a steel core, or depending on whatever metal you're working on, and then it has a flux on the top, on the outside of it, that replaces the inert gas that you have with MIG or with TIG. So when you get an arc going and you start welding, this flux melts, floats to the top of the weld, and then cools on the top and protects the molten weld or the hot weld that you just did. This cools faster than the metal does and keeps the oxygen from getting into the weld and contaminating the weld. Same thing the gas does, but this is just right here on the rod. So you need a pocket full of these, you need a handful of these, up on a ladder, outside, whatever you need to do. Handy little tool. You ever see one work?
No.
Here, let me get my helmet and I'll show you how these work.
Like that safety equipment, bud.
Oh boy, I'll tell you. Lots of sparks. With arc welding, it's even worse than MIG welding. Lots of sparks, lots of splatter, just stuff going everywhere. When you look inside the holder, you'll see there's little slots cut inside the jaw in there. So you can put the rod in at this angle, at this angle, at this angle, whichever way you want, whichever way is comfortable for you. I like it this way, because then it feels like the end of my finger, like I'm pointing with it. All you do to get it started is just scratch it or tap it, and then you just have to hold the right distance. You know, watch down here. Just like that. Now you let this cool down, you get a chipping hammer, and you have to chip that slag off so you can see your weld. Kind of like Christmas every time. You never really know what you're going to get. More next time. See you later.